Good morning and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It is Monday, September 27th, the feast day of Saint Vincent de Paul. And it's also the 26th Monday of Ordinary Time. We got Saint Vincent de Paul. Most of us have probably heard of him, but he was a French Catholic priest, most famous for his care and service to the poor, in which he died in the 1600s and is the patron saint of charity work and obviously the St. Vincent de Paul Society, which is named after him. So our reflection today is going to involve St. Vincent de Paul as it blends in well with the Gospels, in which the Gospel this morning is from Luke chapter 9, verses 46 through 50. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit, amen. An argument arose among the disciples about which of them was the greatest. Jesus realized the intention of their hearts and took a child and placed it by his side and said to them, "Whoever receives this child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives the one who sent me. For the one who is least among all of you is the one who is the greatest." Then John said in reply, "Master, we saw someone casting out demons in your name, and we tried to prevent him because he does not follow in our company." Jesus said to him, "Do not prevent him, for whoever is not against you is for you." All right, so these 5 verses, they have a footnote here in Scripture where it says these two incidents, as far as the greatest in the kingdom, that is, took part in the first half, and then the exorcist that took place that John, the disciple, was questioning and wondering if that person who is not a disciple was worthy to cast out demons. It says that these two incidents focus on attitudes that are opposed to Christian discipleship: rivalry and intolerance of others. Two no-nos in order to be and consider yourself a Christian: rivalry and intolerance of others, in which we're going to tie that in to the reflection from the Word Among Us this morning. So it says, "The one who is least among all of you is the one who is the greatest." St. Vincent de Paul, whom we celebrate today, liked to tell his followers, "Go to the poor, you will find God." But Vincent knew that sometimes we can harbor attitudes of judgment or superiority toward the people we are trying to help, and that can make them feel small or ashamed. That's why Vincent added, "It is for your love alone that the poor will forgive you the bread you give them." In other words, if we approach people with humility and love when we are serving them, we will be careful to treat them with reverence. We will encounter God in them and discover that the least among us is actually the greatest. Here are a couple of examples of just this process. Joe volunteered at the local food pantry. One man returned week after week, complaining about the bread. Joe decided that instead of being annoyed with the man, he would learn his name and pay closer attention to his needs and preferences. When Joe set aside a package of soft rolls with the man's favorite filling, he was met with a cheerful grin. "You know," he told Joe, "I'm not homeless. This city is my home. I just don't have a roof over my head right now." The ensuing conversation blessed Joe with new understanding and perspective. Next, Carol took the time to call and check in on a homebound widow from her parish. She was touched when the woman asked about her own concerns and promised to put them on her prayer list. But when she called a couple of months later to check in again, Carol was surprised that the woman asked about her prayer intentions. Even more, she realized that if the woman hadn't asked, she might have overlooked the way God had answered those faithful prayers. Jesus comes to meet us in the least among us, who are truly the greatest. Let's take the risk of going out to the poor so that we can, as St. Vincent says, find God. Jesus, I don't want to miss the opportunities to meet you and those the world might consider least. All right, so there we go. Have a great Monday, everybody, and a great start to your week. God bless, and keep it real. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen.